food, my on a hunt, they come looking for you. Don't wait, get a plate. Undercover's on the take, you know the drill. When they coming for you, it's bigger than rap. Black, we the opposing figures. So throw your hands while the bass stomp over the rhythms. Soul music, get a plate. Know the Bama's gon' hate. Mr. Move, something coming. Check it out. I represent for the Moors and the history glossed over and redirect lives like opposite crossovers. Eyes wide lost like Michelangelo tossed open a jewel. You suck it up like a movie by Bram Stoker. It's in the syntax, not for the money, before the impact. Like every syllable was 10 stacks. In fact, by the end of this verse,
you're tuned in to the Rock Harper Show, where curiosity leads the way and bold conversations are always on the menu. Now, here's your host, Rock Harper.
Hey, what's going on, party people? Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Rock Harper Show. I am your host, and I want to know, I got one question. What's on your plate? Nah, I'm not talking about just food. I'm not just talking about food. I'm talking about life, work, the big stuff that keeps us up at night, and the small things we don't even notice. Welcome to the Rock Harper Show, where curiosity leads the way and bold conversations are always on the menu. See what I did there? I'm your host, Rock Harper. Today, we're diving into the things that matter, from the food we eat to the policies shaping the industry and beyond. Now, I've been around the block a few times. I'm a chef, entrepreneur, TV personality, but what gets me out of bed every morning is the desire to ask questions and find the truth. This isn't just a podcast, it's a journey. And whether you're here for the food, the stories, or just to argue with me in your head, I'm glad you're here. Today, we got a packed plate. A lot to talk about, as we are every day. There's a lot going on in the world. We got the FDA food recalls. We're going to talk about what they mean for the restaurant business and a little bit about, what they mean for you as a consumer or if you're in the business. I want to touch on the chaos of the president-elect Donald Trump's appointments or his try at appointments. And also want to touch on artificial intelligence. Woo! AI, the word, the phrase, the acronym everybody is using. I'm going to tell you why it should terrify you and excite you at the same time. Oh, and lastly, we're going to talk about DC's Initiative 82, I-82, as it's known here locally. I'm in DC in the 8th Street corridor at Rock Harper Studios. We're going to talk about Initiative 82, which was the initiative voters voted for a few years ago to phase out the tip minimum wage. I'm going to ask a question, and I want to know what y'all think. Can it be reversed? Touchy subject here, Rock Harper. Should it be reversed? Heavy stuff. You ready? Let's jump right in. But before we do, let me lay down some ground rules and just let you know what's going on here. This is a podcast. You are not listening to it live. Not yet. We're going to have some live programming for you. But I'm going to treat it like a live radio show, right? I like live radio. I love listening to it. I respect the heck out of the people that work in it. It ain't easy. As a matter of fact, I won't even say that. It's hard. But I'm going to treat this like a live radio show. So I'm not going to do a whole lot of cutting and editing. You're going to get it. You're going to get my mistakes and all. When I make mistakes, you're going to get them. Now, if something crazy happens, like actually you saying this, something crazy happened before you came in, I'm not going to give you that, right? I'm not going to give you all of the crazy stuff. But what I am, let me turn my volume up here a little bit. They say I'm low. Who is they? Yes, I got producers in the house. But I do not want this to be, see, right there, I'm not going to cut that out. Like, I just hesitated, I lost my train of thought. That even there, I just messed up a word. You're going to get that. That's going to be in there unless something happened, the lights go out. And we also going to have opportunity for you to call in. The number here is 571-534-9169. That's the cell phone, y'all. You can even text me at that number. Make sure you leave your name and where you're calling or texting from. You can ask a question, leave a comment, be nice, be respectful. I will block you. You don't have to agree with me. Of course, that would be boring if we all just agreed on everything. But let's have a conversation. As I said, the intro, I really do like questions. You know, I want this show to be about dialogue, right? I'm going to talk about AI and how, one of the ways that it's affecting us in these algorithms. But we don't talk to one another. So if anything, I want, the Rock Harper Show to be about conversation. I'm outspoken and I have feelings and thoughts about a lot of things. I'm here to learn. Literally, I treat my life as a classroom. But so there's certain things. There's a lot of things more that I don't know than I do know. But I'm okay with stating where I stand. But also, we got to talk to one another and be open to being wrong. We got to be open to changing our minds. We got to be open to being, to agreeing, to find some common ground. We're at a very dangerous place, and it's not good for us as a species, humanity. I don't mean to speak real big, but it's just, it's going in a bad direction. So this podcast, this radio show is going to be about having that conversation. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to jump into this FDA recall thing. I'm going to share my screen with y'all that are watching on YouTube and wherever else you're watching it. And then also I am going to, but you're going to be able to hear it if you're listening. So we're going to jump right in. And then after that, we're going to talk about it a little bit. So let me push play.
The FDA warning about a salmonella outbreak linked to cucumbers.
It's just the latest food recall issued in the last few months. Fox's Jonathan Seri has more.
The list of food recalls keeps growing. A salmonella outbreak forced Arizona-based Sun-Fed Produce to remove some whole cucumbers from the shelves due to possible contamination. The CDC says the recall has expanded to 2 more companies and spans more than 24 states. It comes as Costco recalls 10,000 cartons of organic eggs, also due to salmonella concern.
We're seeing more and more that have either contamination with E. coli, salmonella, or listeria, and they're scary.
While consumers can typically protect themselves by cooking food properly, public health officials say it's harder with fresh produce.
The reason it's harder is these bacteria are sticky, but it's that running water and then using a clean paper towel to dry it, because that friction is what will get those sticky bacteria off.
Similar recalls have recently been issued due to E. coli concerns linked to some organic carrots and onions. And the FDA shows an uptick in recalls for food and cosmetics, more than 1,900 for the 2024 fiscal year. The agency says the country's food supply remains safe, but consumer watchdogs are calling for higher testing standards.
More of it was being caught before it ever got out to you and me in the grocery store and in restaurants. We wouldn't see the recalls.
The good news, the CDC says an E. coli outbreak linked to onions served at McDonald's has ended. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Okay, that was from Fox 5 in Atlanta. And I like that little end tidbit there. Let me stop sharing my screen. I like that little end tidbit. We got to make sure that, the good news is the onions that were maybe killing people are safe now. So go back to your quarter pounders and your McDoubles and your double cheese. Anyway, all right, I'm going to jump on my high horse later. So, that is very interesting. These recalls are very interesting. And I want this to be more about a conversation than me telling you what, I'm going to tell you what I think, but I'd love to know what you all think. I like what that one woman said about, I'm sorry, I didn't catch her name, but if there were more checks, right, at the operation, I was about to say farm, but many of these things, if you ever seen them, they're not farms. They're like factories. They don't resemble what we think is the farm. They're feeding operations, and I wish we would use that language or show people what these places really look like. Right? It's like a felony. I believe it's a felony. Last I checked, to record in a chicken farm, for instance, or, some of these big feeding operations, CAFOs, CAFO, which stands for Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation or Agricultural Feeding Operation. it's a felony for you to secretly record in there if they find out. Like these videos were leaked so many years ago. I don't know if they still are, but that. So why would it be a felony for you to record our farms in America? Right? Imagine like a line cook at a restaurant would get fired or face charges if he or she or they like recorded in the restaurant. If they put an Instagram video of what went on in the restaurant kitchen, that would be absurd. But we have these rules for our food system and we just accept them. So I got a little script here that I don't even know if I'm gonna get into. But what I'm saying is, let me tell you a little bit about, as a consumer, what happens in the restaurant business when we get a recall, like the cucumber thing. I didn't, we don't use cucumbers. We use cucumbers. We don't use cucumbers right now. And then those were not all cucumbers, but I'll talk about that in a second. It was just a specific cucumber. So if you get a recall, like when we had the scallion scare a few years ago, there was romaine lettuce. Your supplier, if you buy them from reputable suppliers, they will tell you like, yo, you bought this or you've had this recently, it's been recalled, and they'll tell you why. So usually you got to isolate the product. The first thing you're supposed to do is isolate the product. So if it's something that's fresh, you put it off in the walk-in refrigerator and you mark it like clearly. You tell everybody in the restaurant, I don't care what, not just kitchen staff, you tell everybody, do not touch these. Usually they just tell you to throw it away, but sometimes they want to test it or something like that. So they'll tell you to put it to the side. If it's something that's shelf stable, like canned tomatoes or something like that, or, meat, boar's head, right? They'll tell you, set it to the side again, clearly mark it, tell everybody don't touch it. And they'll give you a credit or something, I believe, so you don't have to pay for it. And that comes from the manufacturer, but we don't have to pay for it. Now, the problem with recalls, there's a lot of problems with recalls. One, we have, speaking about Trump next, we have these government agencies in place, the FDA, USDA. We have these agencies and these, sort of checks and balances or these regulations in place, and they're supposed to do something. They're supposed to keep us safe. We have this blind trust, whether we know it or not. We just think like, oh, if a restaurant or Costco, right? Costco's a giant, gives us some food, it's safe. Well, that's just not the case. And they can blame it on what's coming from, all sorts of the world. We're a global economy, right? We're globally connected. And we want strawberries in January. We want tomatoes in March, right? We want everything all the time, year round. And that comes at a cost. That comes with connecting with other people. And we want a lot of it. So that means we consume a lot more food. That means they need to grow a lot more food, right? And not to get too deep in the weeds, but we trust our government, and I think we should. And Republicans, want to roll back regulations. They want less government involvement. So just think about that, chefs, restaurants, even consumers. Think about that, what that could do, right, with less people looking. And I'll tell you this, Republicans are, in my, view right now, but this ain't a partisan thing, to be honest with you. And I'm not a historian on this, but I know it was pretty bad, or there's some shaky stuff that went on under, Obama, right? And even Bill Clinton, and definitely Joe Biden. So it's not, I'm not saying it's like Republicans are to blame for this. I'm saying that it's not great as it is. And Republicans right now want to roll back these protections. And I think that we have to fight against that. So I'm really curious to see what you all think. We're going to go to a commercial break. Yes, we do have commercials here. We do have ads here. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about this Peter Hegseth guy, right? This Trump appointment and what that has to do with the restaurant industry. He's, I think, defense secretary. I should know that if I'm bringing this story up. But we're going to talk about it. And, he's under fire for some SA stuff, maybe, possibly, allegedly, and also some alleged or possible alcoholism or substance abuse. And we would definitely want to talk about the thing But also, I want to talk about something else that I don't hear anybody else talking about, especially us in the restaurant industry. But we're going to play this commercial, and we're going to come right back. Let me turn this volume up on this commercial. And right after the break, we're going to come back and get into it. Expert janitorial services and carpet steam washing to industrial sanitation with HACCP and safe quality food practices. They even do turn clean services for apartment complexes. They do it all with precision and care. For almost 5 years, I've trusted Miss Lynn and her team with my home and businesses. And let me tell you, there's nobody better. If you want sparkling results and a team that truly delivers, call Executive Cleaning Group today at 571-369-2423 and tell them Rock Harper sent you. And because this is a live show and I messed that ad up, you're going to get it again because you ain't get the whole thing. Do you need top-notch cleaning that's done right the first time, every time? Well, call Executive Cleaning Group at 571-369-2423. They've got you covered across the entire Washington, D.C. metro area for commercial and industrial cleaning. And if you want residential cleaning, they got you covered in Northern Virginia. From expert janitorial services and carpet steam washing to industrial sanitation with HACCP and safe quality food practices. They even do turn clean services for apartment complexes. They do it all with precision and care. For almost 5 years, I've trusted Miss Lynn and her team with my home and businesses. And let me tell you, there's nobody better. If you want sparkling results and a team that truly delivers, call Executive Cleaning Group today at 571-369-2423 and tell them Rock Harper sent you.
Yo, you looking at a grown man trying to define what is my life, full of perfect imperfections like my pop's drinking high life with his boys in the parking lots of Fleetwood Village, the liquor poor, celebrating just to make it through at 24. Thought it was odd when I used to visit, but now I get it. It's a blessing any day that you don't become a statistic. Some of them dudes is gone now, so am mine. It so defines the climbing of a black man's life. You know what that systematic backhand like? Go round, leave it toothless like an 88 go-go. Laced up Super Tim, stop the face in slow-mo. Sometimes it be like that, so either fight back or you can settle for the crumbs. Loose cigarettes.
All right, welcome back. Make sure you definitely go check out Miss Lynn if you're in the DMV area. When I tell you this woman and her team, when I tell you they clean things I ain't know was dirty. And they're just super efficient. I think like dirt bothers her. And I'm grateful. So let's talk about this Peter Hegseth. Let's do this. Let's go to another clip. What you're going to see here is Jake Tapper. I didn't even know he was still on CNN. They calling CNN. They calling CNN Fox News Light. But he is interviewing this GOP Senator Eric Schmidt. Senator Eric Schmidt joined CNN to discuss Trump's cabinet nominees. So let me set this up. Peter Hegseth is, Trump's appointee, and he's trying to get confirmed. So he's got to, go around and kiss rings and let people know that he's the guy. But apparently he has some accusations, like I said before the break, of, not treating women so well. And also I think the thing that's really out there is his abuse of, or his problem with alcohol. So let's take a look at the video and we'll come back to it. And it's a little long. I want to show you. And then you're going to see within the video, they're going to reference something about Megyn Kelly. Hegseth went on with Megyn Kelly. So you're going to see sort of two shows in one.
So you heard fellow Republican Senator Kevin Cramer of North Dakota say that he has concerns about the allegations of drinking. We should note Senator Cramer tragically lost his son to alcoholism in 2018. Hegseth did address this earlier today with Megyn Kelly on her podcast. Take a listen.
You know what? There's an interesting one there. First of all, I've never had a drinking problem. No one's ever approached me and said, "Oh, you should really look at getting help for a drink." Never. I've never sought counseling, never sought help. I respect and appreciate people who do.
We also heard from Senator Wicker that Hegseth said in their meeting that if he's confirmed to the position, he will not drink. Do you have any concerns about these issues? And if there isn't a problem, why need he swear to sobriety?
Well, he's made those affirmative comments and said something similar to me in our meeting. I think he's trying to address these issues head on as they've been swirling around. And I think you started to see his mom was interviewed. I've not seen the entirety of that interview. I think speaking up for his character. But again, he's been nominated. President Trump ran on a reform agenda. And Pete Hegseth, I do think he brings a reform-minded agenda to the Pentagon. We're in desperate need of that. This is not a partisan issue. We're in a real competition with China. We will be judged on who wins that in the century that we're in right now. And I think
okay. Enough of that. Listen, so much there. There's so much there. Again, call the show. You can call me directly. I am going to have a way for you to do it straight on the website, on the podcast page. But right now and forever, you can give me a call or shoot me a text to ask questions or leave a message. 571-534-9169, right? Straight to the Rock Harper Show. Look, I think Trump's latest appointments should have the restaurant world buzzing. I don't think they are, but they should. On a little bit. If you're an insider, there's a lot of talk. I don't know and restaurant people are busy, so I get why you're not talking about it, but there's labor laws, immigration policies. We're going to talk about minimum wage here in D.C. These moves could shake up our industry to its core. And then we got this guy, Pete Hegseth. And you're like, what does he have to do with, that's the Pentagon. Like, what does he have to do with the restaurant business? And a couple of things. It bothers me. He bothers me. But homie said I forget the other senator said that he told him if he got the job, I don't know if y'all caught that, if he got the job, he wouldn't drink. Now I was listening to Urban View Mornings with Lamont King and Dr. Greg Carr, and that's where I first heard about this. So I had to go look this up. And he didn't say it publicly because I couldn't find it, but it was buried within an interview of Jake Tapper. Someone told. I don't know if y'all heard that horn, but that ain't getting cut out. Jake Tapper said he got word that if, Peter Hegseth said if he got the job, he wouldn't drink. In his interview with Megyn Kelly, he said, no one's ever told me that I've had a drinking problem. I've never been checked. Nobody told me I had to go get help. Those, as somebody that, one, personally has struggled with substances over my life, and has seen it personally and also in an industry where it's quite rampant, those are not like answers to someone that wants to take accountability for their problem or for their challenge or for the perception that they have a problem, right? I'm just going to say you can drink, right? I think it's legal. It's fine. He doesn't appear to be, we don't know what alcoholics look like yet. You can drink, but this is an issue. And this is an issue we've seen with Republican appointees over, few of them on the Supreme Court that have been accused of some pretty terrible things. And now they're making decisions that can really affect our lives. And, that's just a crazy thing that people, that we're in this space where he probably won't get confirmed, but he's still going to be considered. Now, I don't say I don't care, but I'm not really on that. What I'm talking about is his addiction problem, right? And the example here, and the thing that I wanted to talk about that nobody's talking about is like, if you don't address it in our industry, it can kill you. It's life and death for folks in our industry. And I really want to, you'll see with this show, that we're going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about my own struggles with my mental health, what I've seen in and around the industry as a man, as a black man. You know, there's certain things that we just don't talk about, don't address. We try to muscle through. And you could do, you know, I'm not saying that, you know, you need to go and put all your business on Front Street, but for somebody like this Hegseth guy, you know, you're in a public position, in a very important position at the Pentagon. Yeah, your business does need to be on Front Street, because you can't be an alcoholic and have problem with saying people if you're, you know, in that position, I think. So I just think that my whole message in bringing this up is I see the behavior. I don't know if the guy has a drinking problem or not, but it sounds like he's running from something. He sounds like he's not taking accountability, because if he did, I don't think that, you know, I don't know anything about him. I've read a few things about him, and he's a Fox News guy or something like that, and he's got some radical ideas that are kind of crazy. But the drinking thing, I feel like most Americans would forgive you. Like we're in such a place where you can't even say, yeah, in the past, you know, maybe I've had too much to drink. And I guess maybe for a role in the Pentagon, if you say that, it's kind of going to be maybe the nail in your coffin. But he just sounds like an addict. He sounds like an addict that is not addressing it, is not honest with himself. And, you know, I just hope that, you know, he might get the job. The fact that he even got this far is incredible. But I hope that, you know, my folks in the restaurant, especially men, take this as an example. Like, take this as an example. I sound like I've been drinking. That you gotta hit your stuff head on with the people that you love and those around you. You know. Yeah, let's go to the break, and let's take another break. Let's see if these commercials are working, so I don't have to hit you with the accidents, the double up. But we're going to come back and talk about AI. We're going to talk about. I read this book recently. I opened this book as a friend of mine recommended. This book called Nexus. This guy, Yuval Noah Harari, that is like a intellectual superstar that I just heard of him within the past, I want to say 6 months. No, September is the first time I heard about him, so less than that. And this book, Nexus, and about information networks and AI. So we're going to talk about that, and I told you, I think you should be scared of some of this stuff, but also excited in the same time. But let's take a commercial and come on back and get into this AI thing. And again, the number is 571-534-9169. Okay.
Join Chef Rock Harper, Hell's Kitchen winner and culinary expert, for virtual or in-person cooking classes that bring flavor and fun straight to your kitchen. Perfect for team building events, private parties, or just brushing up your skills, Chef Rock's classes make cooking an unforgettable experience. Don't just enjoy amazing food, learn to create it with Chef Rock. Visit chefrockharper.com to book your class today.
You're tuned in to the Rock Harper Show, where curiosity leads the way and bold conversations are always on the menu. Rock Harper Show. Now, here's your host, Rock Harper.
All right, y'all, welcome back. Right before the break, I talked about Yuval Noah Harari, and we're going to jump into this clip where he's sitting down with, I really like this podcast too, or show. I don't know if he consider. I think it's a podcast. It's called The Diary of a CEO. It's got 8 million subscribers, so I ain't the only one that likes it. But this guy who is, I don't even know the dude's name, man. I should know his name. I'm sorry. I'll Google his name while it's playing. But he is such a good interviewer. That's neither here nor there. But he's sitting down on the Diary of a CEO podcast. And I'm going to play this clip where it is, talking about, can we trust what we see on social media and the news?
I'm wondering, in a world of such a fragile democracy, when information flows and networks are disrupted by something like AI, if misinformation and disinformation and the ability for me to make a video, I could make a video right now of Donald Trump speaking and saying something in his voice. And I could help that video go viral? Like, how do you hold together democracy and communication when you don't believe anything that you're seeing online? And we're just at the start of this now. So
we haven't seen anything yet. This is just really the first baby steps.
I'm going to play a video on the screen right now so people can see. And for those listening, you'll just hear it. I'm going to play a video that Isaac over there in the corner of the room made of me speaking in this chair. And it wasn't me, and I didn't say it, and I wasn't in this chair.
Hey there, this is AI Steve. Do you think I'll be able to take over the Diary of a CEO one day? Leave your comments below.
And it sounds exactly like me, identical, and it's not me. And I wonder this with, most of us get our political information and our information generally now from social media.
Yeah.
And if I can't believe anything that I'm seeing because it's all easy to make, some kid in Russia in their bedroom can make a video of the prime minister here. I don't know where we get our information from anymore, how we verify.
The answer is institutions. We've been in this situation many times before in history, and the answer is always the same: institutions. You cannot trust the technology. You trust the institution that verifies the information. Think about it like with print. That you can write on a piece of paper anything you want. You can write, the Prime Minister of Britain said, and then you open quotation marks and you put something into the mouth of the Prime Minister. You can write anything you want. And when people read it, they don't believe it, or they shouldn't believe it. Just because it's written that the Prime Minister said it doesn't mean that it's true. So how do we know which pieces of paper to believe as an institution? We would believe, or greater chance we will believe, if on the front page of the New York Times or of the Sunday Times or of the Guardian, you will have the British Prime Minister said, open quotation marks, blah, blah, blah. Because we don't trust the paper or the ink. We trust the institution of the Guardian or the Wall Street Journal or whatever. With videos, we never had to do that, because nobody could fake them. So we trusted the technology. If we saw a video, we said, this has to be true. But when it becomes very easy to fake videos, then we revert to the same principle as with print. We need an institution to verify it. If we see the video on the official website of CNN or of the Wall Street Journal, then we believe it, because we believe the institution backing it. And if it's just something on TikTok, we know that, any kid can do that. Why should I believe it? So now we are in the transition period. We are still not used to it. So when we see a video of Donald Trump or Joe Biden, the video still gets to us, because we grew up in a time when it was impossible to fake it. But I think very quickly people will realize you can't trust videos. You can only trust the institutions. And the question is, will we be able to produce, to create, to maintain trustworthy institutions fast enough to save the democratic conversation?
All right, that was really good. I know that was kind of long, but it's a good interview. I really enjoy his book. I've heard his other books are great. They're big books, but they're easy. He has complicated thought, and he goes pretty deep in history, but he makes it simple. At least it's simple to me. There's so much there, and again, I don't want to go too hard on this right now. This is the intro episode, and we coming up on passing over in half an hour. I won't make this too long, but let's start with the great stuff, right? What are you excited about with AI? How are you using it today? I'm very curious. What do you think about what he said, right? Have you read the book? Or what's your counter? 571-534-9169 is the number to the show. You can shoot me a text or call, ask a question, just leave it on voicemail. Try not to make it over a minute, y'all. Don't fill my voicemail up. Like, I don't even know you like that. And if I do know you, I don't do that with my regular phone. So don't, be respectful to the people that's going to call in, all right? And don't call up saying I'm crazy because I block you. But no, seriously, I appreciate artificial intelligence, right? I like it. But I will say this, there's so much I do not know about it. But let's talk about the good stuff. Well, let me point out some great stuff, right? So one, we are calling every damn thing AI. Like if it's automatic, we calling it, oh, that's AI. And everything ain't AI. Like some of the stuff is just computers and machines and robots, but it's not necessarily artificial or what Noah Harari calls in his book is alien intelligence. And not like from another world, but alien, like we don't know what it is. It's really new. But everything ain't AI, right? And I'm not going to define it right here, but I think the most famous AI sort of tool right now is ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is really cool, right? There's a dark side of AI too. I keep going that way, but let me talk about the good stuff. So robots in the kitchen is one of the things that I have like here. It's kind of crazy. I've seen it a couple of places, but like self-delivering machines, right? So it's not just the robots. You can kind of program a robot, but how is the machine learning? How is it responsive to its environment? How does it get better? How does it like have how does it produce thought? You know, these things, that's where AI comes in, right? And he goes into the book, like how is it creating thought? How is it creating ideas and like optimizing the world or its work? Right. And that stuff is exciting if you tell this, you know, let's just say it's a food runner robot to, you know, be more efficient and it takes less trips or I have no idea. I'm just making this up off the top of my head. It's a pretty exciting stuff, right? Predictive analytics running the inventory. I think those are some of the jobs. I was listening to somebody the other day and they called in and they asked about, I forget what show. They called in this woman that called in, and oh no, it was with the same guy, and it was at Politics and Pros, and somebody from the audience asked about the poor people that were going to lose their jobs as a result of AI, and his answer was interesting. He was saying, you know, people are going to lose jobs, but also adapt and get new jobs will emerge. But also, it's not just poor people. You know, there's some higher jobs, or some higher education or you know salary jobs that could be up, you know, for grabs too, right? When we think about what AI is learning to do to diagnose illnesses and look at sort of X-rays and just, you know, in the medical field, let me just say that. We look at law, right? It's not a lawyer yet, but I'll be honest, I've submitted a contract to ChatGPT and I asked for its feedback on certain clauses. And it didn't cost me, you know, I got lawyers that are good and they $600 an hour. And, you know, 10-minute conversation is, I'm sorry, a 1-minute conversation is going to be, you're going to get 15 minutes off of that anyway. It don't matter. Like you can't just, you know, and I don't know what I paid for ChatGPT, but it wasn't as much as a lawyer. Is it solid? You know, it's still learning. And that's the thing. It's learning really fast. But I think some legal things, legal jobs, are up for or will shift. Right? I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not saying lawyers are going to go away. I'd like for legal stuff to be less expensive. Accounting is another thing, right? Investing, right, with the stocks and all that jazz. So I think there's a lot. And as we talk about restaurants and predictive, you know. We think about slow periods and high periods, but how can you optimize really your operation? There's so many things. And social media, right? Social media is pretty dope. You could just create content. It could create content in 5 seconds. And we pay social media managers, human beings. You know, how are the machines learning to do what they do, which is important as well. That we're training them, and that's interesting, right? But I think that it's exciting, but also we need to be mindful. We're treating it kind of like, because we're in the infancy, you know, we're treating it like Google and we're going to be able to control it. But this is a very different technology other than the printing press or websites or anything like that. This is the first technology that can actually create thought and make decisions, right? Websites couldn't do that at the .com boom and all this other stuff. Was stuff that we as humans could control, but this has, and I'm not even talking about like the fearful thing is like iRobot, everything like, oh, they're gonna take us over, and they could, you know. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility, but I think that there are some other things that, you know, if you just look into, and I ain't gonna go into it too deep here, but if you look into it, there's some other dangerous possibilities. So it is, you know, again, it is up to the powers that be to really put some guardrails around these things before it gets out of control. Do I think that'll happen? Maybe. There's some people that are working really hard on it, but also maybe not. You got the Elon Musk of the world, you know, you got the Jeff Bezos of the world. Everybody's racing to become like the trillionaire, the first trillionaire, and AI is going to help. So in America, in the Western world, it's all about how much money you can make, and no matter how many people or things you can destroy. Like AI takes a lot of energy and resources from the earth, right? You know, there's these data centers that were taking over different neighborhoods and communities. Those things cost resources. Like AI is just not like some little cube on your desk. So interesting stuff. And definitely want to hear what you all think. 571-534-9169. I haven't looked at the phone number. I think that's it. If that ain't it, somebody gonna get some messages, and I'll just tell you what the real joint is, either in the show notes or I will tell you in the show notes or on the next podcast. Let's go to commercial break right here on the Rock Harper Show at Rock Harper Studios in Washington, D.C. We're gonna come on back and talk about, speaking of D.C., this Initiative 82, which eliminated the tip income credit. And then after that, we're going to close the show out after this commercial break.
And enjoy the best food and drinks on the historic H Street corridor. Whether you're stopping by for a casual night out or hosting a private event, Hill Prince is the perfect spot to unwind and connect. With a warm and welcoming vibe, an unforgettable menu, and drinks to match, it's easy to see why Hill Prince is a neighborhood favorite. Check us out at hillprince.com and come see what makes us the heart of H Street. Hill Prince is more than a bar. It's where the community gathers to share stories, celebrate culture, and enjoy the best food and drinks on the historic H Street corridor. Whether you're stopping by for a casual night out or hosting a private event, Hill Prince is the perfect spot to unwind and connect. With a warm and welcoming vibe, an unforgettable menu, and drinks to match, it's easy to see why Hill Prince is a neighborhood favorite. Check us out at hillprince.com and come see what makes us the heart of H Street.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back. Okay, no music. We're just going right into it. DMV, this is for you. I say DMV. I know this is D.C., but Maryland is trying, and we'll see what happens in Virginia. Virginia's a little tougher. It's a little bigger, a little more conservative on this side, I believe. Initiative 82, the tipping wage law that's got everyone talking. Some folks love it. Some folks hate it. But here's the question. Here's the question I got for you. Can it be reversed, repealed, reformed? And should it be? Restaurants are feeling a squeeze. Some workers are feeling empowered. Some workers are feeling like, this wasn't a good thing. Customers are happy. Customers are angry. Customers are like, whatever. And a lot of people are confused. You got the Attorney General, who I'm going to reserve comment on him for now. I like the fact that he brought the lawsuit against Amazon over in South or in some neighborhoods in DC the other day. So I'm gonna let him breathe on this. But where do you stand? You know, change is hard. You know, and change is hard. But talking about it is harder. So let's keep the conversation going. You know, I own 2 restaurants, one in DC and one in Virginia. So I'm going to say this about it. I think that I've never been a fan of, I shouldn't say never, I think that blanket fixes are often ill-advised because let me stick to the restaurants. It's a challenge because it was a blanket solution for an industry that's super diverse. And it hurts consumers, it hurts workers, it hurts restaurant owners. Some people can adapt and some people can't adapt. It's not about keeping more money. It's not about making more money. It's about following the law and being profitable within that. And it's also about, once we follow the law, will customers pay the new price of the burger or the steak or the veggie burger? So I think that when it was passed, the way the language was written, the money that was pumped into the campaign from this outside money to sort of cause chaos within D.C., I think that it was easy to pass it because it was just a check. Do you want people to make more money? Who wouldn't check yes? Right? It wasn't, but it was more complicated than that. So I'm not making a stance here either way. What I am saying is that I think we should ask the question. I know that the D.C. City Council said that they will not. I know they've done it before, rarely, sparingly. But I think the question should be asked, if we're truly, from the mayor on down to the city council, if we're truly about small businesses, if we really want to help small business owners, restaurants, keep our restaurant community nice and healthy, because it's hurting right now in D.C., truly want to do it, does it deserve to be looked at? Right? I know that people would be worried about the political backlash. Politicians, God bless them, but they want to stay in office and they want to keep in office. I don't know who's up for election next year in D.C., if anybody. But I think if you're really here to serve the people, residents and businesses, and the people are saying that it hurts, then my vote would be to address it. And as somebody that is in community with more restaurant owners and staff and consumers than the average bear, because I'm in the industry, I can tell you that, people are confused and would like a better solution or open to exploring a better solution. Let me say that. And I can't speak for everybody. That's why I got the show. 571-534-9169. I think it is worth talking about. So shoot me a message. That's it. I don't want to go over an hour on this thing. We have 47 minutes, I think, 45 or something like that. So that's it. That's it, y'all. It's been great. I appreciate it. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you all live, hearing your voices, because I can talk. Anybody that knows me knows I can talk, but it gets kind of boring, right? You're just talking. A lot of people, they should probably put some regulation around podcasts. That too many people got microphones. Sure need to be. Sure is the microphone company and Rode. Y'all done too damn much with giving these microphones and booms and Rode. I got all this stuff. It's too much equipment out there. Because some of you mother suckers, I'm trying not to cuss too. Do I got a cuss button here? I think I do. Do I got to? Let me see. Because I need to, I'm a chef and, chefs like to curse. Let's see. Where we at? They got a sensor. We got a sensor in there. Come on. We got a sensor. Come on, where the sensor at? Hey, there it is. Some of you need to let your mother. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, mama. I'm sick of this. That's pretty cool. Try not to cuss so this can remain kid friendly and you can play it around your church folk too. But yeah, I can talk, but we need to be in conversation, y'all. And this is very serious, even with speaking about the AI, and I'm wrapping up here. AI is problematic because it is controlling the algorithms, are doing things that you think you're smart. I saw somebody on a post today. It was an Earn Your Leisure post, and they say, "Nah, bro, we know what a bot is." Brother, sister, person, you do not. I promise you, these machines and these bots are not the bots of 5 years ago. They're not the bots that you think they are. They're not the ones that Cindy triple H hi. Like, they're not those bots anymore. They can think, man. And and the more we argue with people in the comments, the more that they understand how we speak, what our fears are, what excites us, what are we afraid of, what makes us angry. And the fix to that, and I'll tell you this, you're going to hear me say this a lot, I didn't say it earlier, is the in-person economy. We're going to have to we're going to have to figure out how to pick up the phone, 571-534-9169. We're going to have to find out how we got to come back outside, sit face to face, sit across from one another. Yuval Noah Harari talked about institutions. Yes, we need to restore faith in journalism. We need to restore faith or have some faith in some people that we trust, that if it comes out, it's official. And the one thing you can't trust right now is face to face. These videos, you don't even know if it's me. It's me, but in a few years or maybe a few months, there's some software I've seen that like can just emulate you. And I don't, so anyway, I'm just saying we got to talk to each other, y'all. So I wound it down from there. I got a little script here, so let me go and read it. That is a wrap of episode 1 of the Rock Harper Show. We covered a lot today, from FDA recalls to AI, tipping laws to Trump appointments. But here's the thing. These aren't just stories. They're our lives. They're the issues shaping our industry, our communities, and our future. Next time, we'll talk about the rise of ghost kitchens, maybe. Are they dining? Are they the future of dining? Are they the death of your mom and pop? You don't want to miss it. Who knows? Until then, subscribe, share, leave a review. Hit me up. Listen, scratch that. I don't even know why I wrote that. I'm not talking about ghost kitchens next episode. This is a live show, so I'm not cutting that out. Next time, we're going to talk about something. We're going to talk about what y'all leave on the message. I want to hear, what do you all want to talk about? What's on your mind? As it relates to this industry, cooking, I ain't talking about no food, whatever. You can tell me. I don't mean I'm talking about it, but please let me know, because this is a conversation. So please subscribe, share, leave a review. Hit me up with your thoughts and ideas. This is the Rock Harper Show, where curiosity leads the way and bold conversations are always on the menu. Stay curious, stay bold. I'll catch you next time, and I'm going to leave you with some music. All the music that you've heard today is by an incredible artist, Priest the Nomad, and I'm going to leave you with a song that he actually made. He's a friend of mine, but he's super talented. I'm blessed to be his friend. He made for my restaurant, or it was inspired by my restaurant, and about, Queen Mothers. And definitely go check him out on all of your platforms. It's Priest the Nomad. And this is called My Way Home. And I'm going to always close the show with this, because I always feel like no matter what, we can find our way back home. So I will see y'all. Stay curious, stay bold. I'll holler at you soon. Peace.
You're tuned in to the Rock Harper Show.
Again, I don't know what that was. I clicked the wrong button. It's a live show. You're going to get this thing again. I'm not cutting that out. I can't find it.
Pops used to warn us about the game, but it was the fame that got my man late. 8 years later, I'm picking dude up from the Fed gates. He like, damn, Pete, you way past grown. And we both struggling, trying to pay back loans. Had a tear in his eye. He said, I was living a lie. Tell mom sorry, trying to find my way back home. Fried chicken and rice with the butter. She my queen, so I call her my queen mother. When everyone else leave me broken alone, she said, son, find your way back home. Find your way back home. Priest the Nomad. Yeah, Nomad's an outsider. Day one, I called the bullshit out like the town crier. The nation's capital politics is the laws of greed.